So this weekend, California Senator Kamala Harris met with top Hillary Clinton donors. Here's what an article in Page 6 said about it. The California senator is being feted in Bridgehampton on Saturday at the home of MWW PR guru Michael Kepner, a staunch Clinton supporter who was one of her national finance co-chairs and led fundraising for her 2008 bid for the presidency. He was also listed as one of the top bundlers for Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign, having raised $3 million. Despite being less than 7 months into her new job as senator, Harris is already said to be the Democrats' top fundraiser and is being talked about as a 2020 presidential hopeful. A Democratic insider said, Kamala is the big Democratic star right now, at a time when they badly need a star. She's coming to the Hamptons to meet key people as she takes a national stage and expands her influence and ambitions. Now look, I'm not all that familiar with Harris's record. She's still a fairly young senator. But this is how the game is played. So, as an example, remember Barack Obama in 2008? He ran a progressive campaign, but he rose to power on a wave of Wall Street and big corporate money. And it affected him. Once he was in office, Obama wasn't all that progressive anymore. He had been corrupted. And that's what happens. Money corrupts without you even realizing it. You may not think there is a direct connection between you receiving money and then you acting on who is giving you that money, but it's all about the company you keep. So whoever you hang around with, that's who you're going to start thinking like. You're going to start hearing about their issues and the problems that they face and what they want to see fixed, and not the issues that regular everyday people want to see fixed. Because when someone gives you a ton of money and they believe in you, you have this natural response to want to listen to them. Now again, that doesn't mean that you are knowingly being corrupted. But regardless, you're being corrupted. And I'm not the only person that feels this way. So there was a video posted on Twitter of a Kamala Harris supporter talking about this very thing.
Hi, Senator Kamala Harris. It's your supporter, your donator, Adriana in Long Beach, California. And I just saw a news story on Twitter that said that you were going to be meeting with some of the same big backers in the Hamptons that backed Hillary Clinton. So I want to let you know that when you begin to take money as a senator or in a lead up to a presidential campaign from the same big money donors that backed Hillary Clinton, that's when you cease to represent me. Because I understand what Speaker of the House Willie Brown said. You need to be able to take their money and vote against them anyway. And I was, right on when he said it, but now I come to believe that that is just not possible. And if you are going to represent the progressive values that I want in a senator or that I want in a president, that is not conducive to taking money from the same big donors from which Hillary Clinton got money. I actually believe you have the ability to make it to a presidential campaign through small money donations. Why you don't believe you can do that, I'm not sure, but I certainly do. And if you really want to represent the people and not just the neoliberal establishment, then going after big money donors is not the way. I'm incredibly disappointed, and I hope that this story isn't even true.
So Adriana there makes great points. If Kamala Harris actually wants to represent a progressive agenda, you can't do that and take big money from special interests. It just doesn't work. You can think that you're trying to vote against those special interests, but in reality, you're not. You're being affected by whoever is giving you that money. You're being affected by those conversations. When half your job is about raising money, you're of course going to be affected by those conversations that you have with those big donors. And she makes a great point at the end there. If you're a strong candidate that is principled and you run on progressive values, why can't you just raise individual small donations like the Bernie Sanders model? If you're a strong candidate, you will be just as successful as Bernie Sanders was raising that money. And I believe Kamala Harris could likely do it if she did, if that's the route that she decided to take. and she completely cut off PAC money and big money. But that isn't what she's doing. So now we're stuck in this predicament where we have to question who she stands with. Who does Kamala Harris actually listen to? Who does she actually stand up for? Because we know how corrupting money can be. We saw it with Barack Obama. We see it with almost every politician in Congress. So if that's the case, then how can Kamala Harris really be any different? Hey folks, so the YouTube ad money for shows that question the status quo is abysmal. So if you want to help me out, consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/therationalnational. There is a link below the video and somewhere on the screen right about now.